Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Challenger Series number 17. This is still the TheFOXSound versus Reason Gaming. Very first game went over to the TheFOXSound. This is a best of 3, and I am Nature. I'm joined by Spuddington.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed Nature as well. So, Champion Select should be getting underway fairly shortly, and just a quick reminder, I am obviously casting from the stream, so I'm a little bit behind, but our streamer and, of course, Nature himself are in the lobby and are up to date. So have we had any bans coming in?
Yeah, so fairly standard bans here. Once again, no real deviation from the last ban phase, if you will. Katarina, Ziggs, Kassadin, and Dr. Mundo. And I would like to see a Gragas ban, because Lapras did so good on that Gragas last game around. But then again, that is, of course, Reason Gaming's their choice and not mine to make.
Yeah, obviously Gragas is a champion who he's very strong, but he doesn't do any one huge thing incredibly well. He has disengage, obviously, but he's a very safe laner, and obviously late game his burst gets to be really strong, but he's not so amazingly strong that you have to pick him every single game or face defeat horribly. You know, if he ends up in a lane against, for instance, Ziggs, then you end up with some serious problems, actually, because Ziggs can outrange him early on, now that Gragas' range was nerfed a few patches ago. Gragas is actually not really able to deal with that lane. Obviously, that's been banned out this time, so they don't have to worry about it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another Gragas pick this game, because it's very strong, but it's just not one of those ones that you can do all the time and expect to win, because there are better mid laners out there.
Alright, so the Thresh has actually been banned, and there you have it. Reason Gaming insta-locking the Gragas for themselves, so no Gragas going over towards Lapras this game around, and no Thresh going over to Zikion either, and he did such a good job on the Thresh.
Yeah, his hooks were really on point, and if I had to level any criticism at Zacian in that game, it's that he actually was caught out of position a couple of times. He would land an incredible hook, and then he would follow it up as well, which sometimes is not necessarily a good idea, because obviously if you land every single hook, not every single hook is going to be one you wanted to land and follow up. So he's a very good player. There's no taking that away from him, but some supports that are incredible engagers just seem to have that knack for also being suicidal. It actually reminds me of ex-Dignitas UK Yero now. That's I can't believe they disbanded.
Oh.
No mercy me. Anyway, regardless, what's going on in Champs?
Alright, so Zikion has actually picked up the Shyvana for Zirius, and Crazy Caps has picked up the Vi for their jungler. Now that means that Binsu will not be getting that Shyvana this time around. He has picked up the Elise for their jungler, Trashy of course, and Chrisland has picked up the Leona, which surprises me a little, but then again Leona is of course a very strong support here, and Lapras has locked in the Yasuo, and wow, Zirius has locked in the Alistar.
Oh, blimey, that feels very much like the TheFOXSound have gotten the better of Champion Select already here, because if you run Gragas mid lane, you are going to be in serious trouble against Yasuo. He destroys Gragas in a one-on-one matchup, and I think we actually saw that exact thing happening in the NALCS not that long ago, so basically because almost all of Gragas' ability to do anything is tied to projectiles, Wind Wall destroys Gragas' ability to do anything at all, and Yasuo can also engage on him, make him suffer really badly, and is really scary. So that could potentially be very dangerous, and they can't even do anything funny like switching him over to a jungle Gragas, because obviously they've already picked out Elise, and that would be a difficult thing for them to do as a result. So they're just going to have to try and work around it now, but they do obviously have some sources of engage outside of Gragas here and outside of projectiles, because stuff like Leona's ultimate will at least ignore the Wind Wall.
Yeah, so Reason Gaming have picked up the Trundle and the Ezreal as well. Now, of course, they will be using that Ezreal against Crazy Caps' Vayne, which we did not see last game either. So kind of, well, odd champions here compared to last game around, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that Trundle, the Vayne, and the Lapras, and especially the Alistar here in action. This should be a very interesting game.
Yes, indeed. Now, remember the synergy here. Yasuo and Alistar, and indeed Yasuo and Vi. There is a lot of different knockups. In fact, every single character has the ability to proc Last Breath for Yasuo. Even Vayne's knockback would actually count. So there's a lot of synergy between their team composition, and I actually have to say I feel like their laning is going to be really strong as well. So we'll see how Reason Gaming copes with that. They have some fun tools as well. Stuff like Trundle, which we'll discuss later on, is a really scary counter to a lot of the common tanks in top lane. Regardless, guys, though, we are just going to be going into a quick commercial break while we wait for the delay timer to tick down, and you can actually, I believe, bet on some of the matches that we have been having going on. So that was some English right there. So if you just type !bet, there will be a link appearing in chat. And if you follow that, I believe you can get a Chaos TV link following bonus if you deposit more than €20. So regardless, guys, commercial break. See you after this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the EUS Challenger Series number 17 semi-finals, the second semi-final of the day. Reason Gaming versus TheFOXSound, and I may have to cut this short because Barney D is actually not in trouble. Nisha, how are you doing?
I'm doing very fine, especially after last game, which was so fun to cast. Right now, Senkox might be finding himself in trouble as well, but he is keeping a safe distance, so he will not be dying just yet. I believe I just had some weird lag there going on. Yeah, everyone having lag here in chat as well, so this could be especially interesting due to that. And Zekion might be looking to chase down Chrisland here, but also Chrisland keeping a safe distance.
Interesting is the word. Now, I want to just talk a little bit about this Alistair support, which is not something we see very, very often these days, but I actually could see it coming into the meta a little bit more, simply because Leona is currently very, very prevalent, and Alistair does well, as compared to most of his matchups, against Leona, just basically because Leona jumps in. That puts us straight into pulverized range. He can interrupt her combo, and then he can push her under tower or out of position or way behind the minions. So he can really, really punish that that aggression that Leona is known for. And we'll actually see how that transpires. I would say though, because he's laning with a Vayne, he's going to need to be punting into tower in order for him to win and engage.
Yeah, he gets that Shield of Daybreak on himself, but he is a little bit too tanky for that to not do too much damage to him, rather, as it does do a little bit, but at this point he can probably deal with a couple of those. Not too much, of course, because that would get very dangerous very quickly. For now, Reason Gaming shoving in this lane with one minion, and it seems like TheFOXSound are probably going to be a little passive here because they do not want to get dove on by Barney D, of course, but then again, as he said, Zekion could counteract that one very, very good. Here comes the Pulverize and the Zenith Blade. Barney D being forced out. Crazy Caps trading a little bit with Chrisland, and that is going to be the end of that. So no real lethalities here, if you will, happening just yet. And in that middle lane, as you predicted, Lapras punishing Senkox for, well, picking up the Gragas.
Yeah, that was, I will say that was a really, really smart choice in Champion Select. They allowed the Yasuo through at the same time as allowing Gragas through, and obviously knowing how much influence Gragas had last game, they relied on him being picked up by their opponents this time, had a counter prepared, which was banned in the first game, and hence Reason Gaming couldn't have played. Now, we have to watch this bottom lane because Vi is coming in. Level 2 has been hit by Alistair, which means he is incredibly strong at setting up ganks.
Yeah, Chrisland gets knocked up. Here comes Sean's, gets a knockback onto Chrisland, rather, as he gets forced to flank there. Here comes Crazy Caps. That is going to be first blood once again for TheFOXSound.
Yeah, good start for them, and a good usage of the fact they knew they would be pushed back by Ezreal and Leona. They knew their super early level fights would not be even close to comparable, so relying on them being pushed back, picking a support that can punish Leona for being super aggressive and under tower, and can also set up ganks very, very well. This is some smart compositional picking, and I really do like to see that indeed. But that press has been called.
Yeah, Ignite is ticking. There's no getting out of that one alive. He goes down. Kill going over towards Thrashy, and he's towards Thrashy, and he is going to be content with that one 1-for-1. But then again, of course, first blood, even though the gold has been reduced on that one, it did go over to TheFOXSound in the end. But this might just mean that Senkox gets the tools he needs to maybe deal a little bit better with Lapras in that middle lane.
Yeah, it's always going to be so difficult for Gragas though, because he can be literally 10-0, and if his ult and his Q get blocked by Lapras's Wind Wall, then he's still going to lose a fight with Yasuo. That is how ridiculous of a matchup it can be at times. The flip side of that though is if he can actually land his stuff and the Wind Wall is wasted or whatever, it can really, really turn against Yasuo very, very quickly indeed, because he can't even really stand toe-to-toe with Senkox thanks to his massive W steroid.
Yeah, Lapras might be here in trouble once again. Wind Wall doesn't block the cocoon, and down he goes once again. Senkox picking up the kill here this time around, so that is 2 deaths on that Yasuo for now. And for now, it actually seems that Reason Gaming are punishing Lapras for picking up that well, the Yasuo in that bottom lane. Some action going on, but no real commitment towards any kills just yet.
Yeah, further to what you said, Yasuo, yeah, they are punishing it essentially because he's a very, very squishy mid laner. He's reliant upon his wind wall essentially to keep himself alive, and that doesn't really work against this jungler. I mean, yes, you can try and block the cocoon if she's coming in human form, but if she repels to you, you have to have absolutely like 0 ping, like Neo levels of reaction time in order to just actually block a cocoon at point blank range. It's super, super difficult to do. Possible, actually, but super, super difficult if she repels to you and then switches to human form, goes for the stun, and obviously Gragas can set her up as well by just body slamming.
In their bottom lane, headbutt coming down on towards Barney D, forcing him away. Here comes the Zenith Blade in towards Crazy Caps. However, Crazy Caps taking a little bit too much damage for his liking. Barney D gets stunned up in towards that wall, taking so much damage for himself. Here is Trashy, however, Cocoon doesn't connect. So the TheFOXSound will be backing away in that bottom lane. No deaths happening once again. Almost had a kill there with the help of Thrashy, but in the end, they did get forced away.
So, question now from my perspective is what is going to be Reason Gaming's plan for this game? They obviously do have a really, really strong mid-game teamfight, much as we actually saw from the TheFOXSound in the previous game. The TheFOXSound going for a much more late game, but they are going to catch someone.
Also, then Battery comes down in Chrisland right after the Arcane Shift. Great knock in towards that wall, and Chrisland is going down 2-2 just now. And Barney D will survive that engage, but they did pick up the AD carry, and they did gift over that kill on towards Crazy Caps. And wow, that was a beautiful condemn.
Yeah, really, really nice. And it's actually something we've seen out of Crazy Caps a lot. He used to be famed for playing Vayne. I haven't seen him pick it in quite a while, but that was his shtick back a little while ago, and it does look like they will get the dragon from that. So big, big bonuses here, and starting to build a little bit of an advantage. Nothing too serious. Finding out that pink ward and getting rid of that. Between the two teams, though, right now, I'd still favor Reason Gaming composition-wise in terms of mid-game teamfights, just off of the back of Leona and Gragas as a combo, because that is absolutely brutal for picking off individual guys in fights.
Oh, Lapras once again in that middle lane is in real trouble. Ignite is ticking. Down he goes once again. There's three deaths rather, on the TheFOXSound team, and all 3 of those are on Lapras, so he is not having too much fun in that middle lane. And, well, what could he do, actually, to get himself back in this game here, Spuddington?
Well, at this point, he's already fallen a long way behind, so he just needs to be a little bit more careful. You'll actually see that there are no wards around that mid lane area. He has not decided to respond to the fact he's repeatedly being ganked by warding up and making sure he stays safe. He's just sort of allowing himself to die, and obviously he is drawing pressure this way, and as long as Elise is able to keep making ganks happen in the bot lane, it kind of works out, because Yasuo does do fairly well for damage as soon as he's gotten his Shiv, but I got to say, I feel it. I mean, he didn't even put down his trinket ward. Like, it feels a little bit remiss to just not have any vision at all around that area.
Yeah, I mean, on that top lane, we did see Beansu's ultimate subjugate coming out on towards Xerius, because Beansu was getting a little bit too low on health for his own liking, so he healed himself up with that one, and he forced Xerius out of a lane, or, well, he forced Xerius to get back and place a ward down there, because if he pushes too far, he will attract attention from that jungler. And now, speaking about junglers, Sean's is coming in towards that top lane. Beans, who could be in real trouble, flashes the Vault Breaker. That is a flash for a Vault Breaker. They didn't get the kill, but they did burn the flash.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to burn, because Trundle, he's very, very difficult to kill. He obviously steals resistances with his ultimate, and he restores his own health very well, and he has crowd control reduction, so he's hard to pin down. But in the early stages of the game, he's fairly squishy, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Vi go for a return gank fairly soon. But she's going to have to be pretty quick about it, because Trashy is actually thinking about going top. Actually looks like both of the junglers are just going to kind of ward each other off.
Yeah, however, Sean's is once again looking for that gank in that top lane. The brush is here. In that middle lane, Trashy is once again looking for that kill on towards Lapras. Lapras is now keeping a safe distance, so that is very good for him. Meanwhile, that top lane, Vault Breaker being charged up, knock up on towards Beatsu. Beatsu taking so much damage. Assault and Battery coming down as well. The trophy comes up out of the ground, but that is not going to be enough to save him. Meanwhile, in that middle lane, however, Lapras is having some trouble as well, but this time around, he didn't die to Trashy.
Now, it's a smart decision here by the TheFOXSound. I think they're going to try and end this early laning phase in the top lane especially, because the longer that goes on, the more Trundle's going to start to cause problems, but there's a fight in bot lane.
Yeah, here comes the Solar Flare. Great flash out of Crazy Caps. Will dodge that one. Here is Trashy, however, doesn't quite manage to connect the cocoon. Crazy Caps will be surviving this one for now, but here is Saintcox. He does have the explosive cask available, I believe. Crazy Caps surviving this one for now. Great Zenith Blade, but Crazy Caps is invisible. Does die in the end. The Saintcox. Zikion is still alive under that turret, but there is 4 members of his enemy's team. He does decide to flash in the end. Is not going to be enough to save him, and they will pick up the kill on towards Zikion.
And if you listen closely during that fight, you could hear when my brain got very, very surprised because Leona got cut off halfway through her Zenith Blade there by Alistair, which is really good reactions by him because Alistair obviously there's a little bit of a delay on Pulverize, so really, really good uses by him, and it kind of confused me out of talking for a second, so that was a little bit special of me, but it does seem like we are going to be having everyone kind of returning to their laning phase right now. The contention point is probably going to be the next dragon, if not going to be that bottom tower now. So the reason for that, Reason Gaming kind of want to shut down Crazy Caps now. He's looking farmed enough to be pretty scary, and obviously they want to get that bottom tower in order to get that control over the dragon.
Yeah, they certainly do. Dragon coming up in another 1 minute and 10 seconds. Zikion is starting to ward that general dragon area. Meanwhile, in that bottom lane, Crazy Caps being forced to deal with Chrisland and Barney D at the same time, of course, all alone. But Zikion will be rejoining him, and they will start to push out that bottom lane to maybe have some breathing space to head over towards that dragon area. And Chrisland and Barney D, they're quite good at farming under that turret, or Chrisland rather, of course, because he has the Mystic Shot. That was what I was trying to say. In that middle lane, some action going on, but no kills just yet. Lapras gets knocked back by the explosive cast. So much damage coming down on him. He gets a good knockoff on towards Saintcox, but he is the body slam himself. Flash coming down from both of them. Great dodge, but it is not going to be enough, and Saintcox is on the killing spree. Sean might be looking to counteract that one. Here comes a cocoon, doesn't quite hit. Assault and Battery comes down. Saintcox doesn't quite go down. Flash being used, and he does get the shut down right now. Sean being forced to run away for his life, and he does reach the safety of his turret.
Totally worth the bait there. Totally worth the bait from Lapras. He's proud of that because he's 0-4. Dying again, not going to cost him that much. Gragas, big old killing spree. Honestly, though, that was opportunistic claiming of a kill in return there by Vi, and very, very smartly done by her. But that does mean Elise is going to be able to go for this dragon area now, and I don't believe it's going to be easy to contest it, but Zaician is heading to the area. Vi is coming down. Lapras will be there fairly shortly. They're going to get the dragon, but will they be able to lose any kills?
He steals it. Sean steals the dragon, and right now Barney D looking to counteract that one for himself. Zikion taking so much damage, using that ultimate. Ignite is ticking as he goes down in the end. Right now, Chrisland desperately trying to get out. Barney D will fall. That is a 1-for-1 rather, but the dragon, most importantly, going over to the TheFOXSound.
Incredibly good fight there by them. Lapras put down a perfect wind wall. He basically locked every single projectile that was coming from the dragon pit in the dragon pit. There was no way out for it. And that just meant that you basically lose the fight because Ezreal was forced to use his escape, which he obviously needed to escape from things in order to put down any damage at all, led to him being out of position, led to him being focused down, and that in turn just meant the fight was won, and the chase down from Vayne is not something you can escape from. So huge, huge fight there for the TheFOXSound, and Reason Gaming didn't even get the dragon, so not looking good for them.
No, certainly not looking good for them. Zerius now in that Reason Gaming jungle, looking to do a little bit of counter jungling. He will pick up that white, and Beansu will not be able to do anything about it at all. Returning towards his lane, being forced to farm this one out, and well, of course he will be quite happy with that, because that will give him some of those items that will enable him to reach that tanky state that of course the Trundle need to be a real nuisance in those team fights. And well, aside from that, nothing not too much happening overall in this map. Both teams just licking their wounds a little bit, and Reason Gaming might be licking their wounds a little bit more than the TheFOXSound at this point.
Yeah, that's it was an unfortunate turn of events, especially having the dragon stolen away. A little bit remiss though of Trashy, because Elise is very, very good at securing dragons. She needs to time the venomous bite with her smite, and she can spike down a lot more damage very suddenly than a Vi can. So it was honestly kind of being caught off guard, perhaps, that led to the steal, but really quite unfortunate in all. And now the question actually is, can Vi make anything happen in this 3-on-3 in the bottom lane? Crazy Cats will be very strong in this environment.
Yeah, this could be very, very dangerous. Knockup comes down on towards Trashy. Zenith Blade comes down on towards Crazy Cats, but he flashes it. And right now, Barney D going down very, very quickly. Meanwhile, we do have a turret going down, but Barney D bites the dust. They are looking to chase down Chrisland as well, as they do manage to pick up 2 kills. Trashy and Barney D both going down, and a turret. The TheFOXSound is back in this game.
Yeah, as if they were ever out of it. I hate to criticize you, but so the TheFOXSound, yeah, Crazy Caps, really, really good play by him, getting himself out of the Leona damage, and obviously avoiding the Mystic Shot, True Shot Barrage combo from Ezreal as well. Basically just meant that he was untouched in that fight, was able to completely clean it up. And at this stage of the game, Alistar does quite a bit of damage. His base damages are actually very, very high, so they couldn't even really ignore him or Vi in that fight. That left Crazy Caps to just kill everyone, and that in turn was just really, really strong. Barney D there getting his Zenith Blade cancelled, and it does look like Lapras gets out.
Oh, that was a beautiful win wall right there. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, that middle lane, Beansu actually finishing off a turret as well, so they will be picking up that very first turret for themselves. 3-1 in turrets for the TheFOXSound, and they are still holding on that bottom lane outer turret, as Chrisland and Barney D are still looking to siege it.
At the moment, it's still very much a game in contention, but this is kind of what we saw in the previous game. We saw Reason Gaming kind of be generally a little bit behind for most of the game, and the TheFOXSound kind of being a little bit ahead for most of the game, and very, very slowly increasing that lead. They may be able to catch Barney D here, but he actually broke vision just as the last breath would have been used normally, so that's not what happened. As I mentioned before, Reason Gaming, they are now in a situation where they have to start making some really smart decisions in order for this to work for them. They need to be able to force fights in their advantage using their picking potential. They're going in.
Yeah, this could be very dangerous once again. Barney D takes a whole lot of damage. Lapras looking for his first kill on towards Chrisland. Chrisland goes down almost instantly. Yeah, there you have it. He goes down in the end. Barney D goes down as well. Meanwhile, we do have Crazy Caps actually biting the dust as well, as I believe Trashy picked that one up. Yes, he did. That makes it 9-8. And kills a dragon coming up in another 50 seconds, and the TheFOXSound are in the perfect position to rotate over towards that dragon area and pick it up here.
Yeah, the guys from Reason Gaming will be respawning relatively soon, but they may be in dive.
Yeah, this is very dangerous for Senkot. He gets bursted down almost instantly. Right now, Trashy is in all kinds of trouble as well. Doesn't quite get knocked up, so he will live to see another day. And that turret doesn't go down either just yet. Lapras will be pushing in between those turrets just for now. Dragon coming up in another 20 seconds. So it seems as though they will be taking this red buff, going over towards that dragon, and finishing that one off as well.
So again, we find ourselves in this situation where Reason Gaming are getting caught in fights they just don't want. That fight in the bottom lane was initiated by Alistar. It was a 3-on-2 to start with, and now Barney D maybe walking in, being caught out, and gonna be taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, Pulverize coming down as the last breath comes down as well. Barney D will surely be going down right now. Kristen in all kinds of trouble, but Sean's gets turned upon, and he might be in real danger here for himself. Trashy and Kristen being forced out of the fight. Here is Crazy Caps looking to finish off Kristen. Kristen makes a retreat, and Trashy will be going down, or will he, because the explosive cask comes down to save him just for a little bit. Senkox will be finishing off Lapras in the process, and that makes it a 1-for-1, I believe, indeed. And that means that the TheFOXSound might not be able to take down this dragon, as Reason Gaming are looking to chase down Crazy Caps. Great juke out of that barrel. Senkox getting stunned up into the wall. That is 1 kill for Crazy Caps. Barney D right now is the new focus. Crazy Caps is stunned up, however. Kristen looking for this kill on towards Crazy Caps. Double kill coming in for him. Right now, Kristen is the new focus. Will he be going down? No, he will not. And that is a double kill for both AD carries.
Double kill for both AD carries, and you've got to say Crazy Caps really was putting on the moves there, getting several kills basically from nothing, whereas Kristen just kind of walked in point-and-click adventure gamer style and cleaned up. Binsu looking aggressive on Xerius up this top lane, has Trashy to support him.
Yeah, Trashy comes in. Xerius looking to turn this one around, but he doesn't quite get the distance on towards Binsu, and he gets stunned up by that cocoon. What a cocoon right there. Trashy will be taking that kill home. That is quite a good kill on towards Xerius.
However, Trashy committing in the top lane means Dragon is open. Crazy Caps is not there, the rest of the team is not there, but Sean's is so fed, and he's actually built quite a bit of damage, so he's not only incredibly tanky, but he's very capable of soloing this. They might try and steal it.
Oh, yeah, they did get it.
That was a nice steal there, and coordinated with the True Shot Barrage, so it was probably about 1,000 damage just coming down in one big smack for the rest of Reason Gaming there, so it would have actually been very, very difficult for Sean's to outsmite that. But they are looking for Crazy Caps, don't get it.
Ooh, great flash out of Crazy Caps to dodge that cocoon. Here comes Zikian, gets a good pulverize on 2 members of that Reason Gaming team. Barney D taking a little bit too much damage for his liking, but he is, of course, that support. He's built to take a little bit more damage than anyone else. Meanwhile, that bottom lane, however, Lapras looking for the kill on Kristen, gets that last breath off, but it doesn't do quite as much damage as he might have been expecting it to do, and he spots out that rest of the Reason Gaming team, dives on towards Kristen. Solar Flare comes down, dodges that one as well. He's so deep right now in his enemy's base. I don't see him surviving this one. Barrow comes down, won't be finishing off either, but look at this. In the meantime, his team is taking down that Baron. He's just, well, stretching the time, if you will, to make sure that his team gets that Baron. The Baron is at half health already. Trashy is walking over there as quickly as he can, but I think the TheFOXSound is actually going to be able to pick this one up. Yeah, the True Shot Barrage comes across. They do spot the Baron, but they have picked it up already. They might be looking for fights. No, the TheFOXSound will be retreating with the help of that Talisman of Ascension.
It could have been really, really messy there for the TheFOXSound because they actually didn't have Smite available. Sean's only just came up slightly after the Baron was dead, and the True Shot Barrage didn't take it. But a really, really smart usage by Lapras there. He knew that he was A, very difficult to pin down, and B, actually still a significant enough damage threat that they would want to kill him. Delayed so incredibly well, and now there is an engage on Senkox.
Yeah, Senkox is so deep. However, Zenith Blade comes down towards Sean. He is taking so much crowd control to his face, and down he goes to the explosive cast right now. They are looking for this kill towards Binsu. He gets exploded, but he uses the repair at the very last moment. That is a double kill for Crazy Caps, looking for that trip on towards Barney D. He uses that Shield of Daybreak, and he goes down to Lapras. That is a 3-for-1. And the TheFOXSound are looking to barge down that middle lane and maybe take even the inhibitor turret here.
Yeah, they could easily do that because there is a lot of chasing potential under the tower. Blade of the Rune King obviously not available, but you can't go anywhere near Zaician in this situation. Alistar's Headbutt Pulverize combo would be an instant lockdown, instant death for Senkox, and would require quick reactions from Crisland to try and avoid with his Arcane Shift. So, dangerous stuff now, and with that Baron buff still pretty decent amount of time left on it, it may well be that the TheFOXSound look to recall and then make one sort of extra push from their advantage that they have right now. I would actually like to say, though, Sean's in that last fight dove so deep, and it looked actually kind of bad at first, but was actually very smart. Binsu, oh dear.
Oh, this is very bad. The Condemns comes down, And here is the execute on towards him. Lapras will be taking home that kill. Explosive cast came down already. Now that is on an 85-second cooldown, so that isn't too much, but it is on cooldown. If we do have, if the TheFOXSound do decide to engage in the end, and it seems like they will be taking home this turret without any type of contest. Oh, in goes Zikion, gets a good knock-up. Chrisland gets bursted almost instantly. Ignite is ticking, and he will surely be going down, or will he? Because he does manage to finish off Lapras. Crazy Caps is so deep, and it seems like he will not be able to finish him off as well. And that was probably a little bit too cocky out of the TheFOXSound right there.
Yeah, that was Crazy Caps was sort of, I mean, he wanted the kill. I can understand that. I can relate to that. I think we all can. But that was a little bit strange. Doesn't hugely change the flow of the overall game. They're still taking objectives. They're still winning the fight overall. It will kind of waste a significant amount of time on the Baron buff, though. So the next push from the TheFOXSound will be a little bit more difficult than it would normally have been under the circumstances. I also want to note there was just a little bit of weird mechanics in that fight. Yasuo's ultimate actually pulled Ezreal back in after he was knocked away. I think he was knocked out of the fight by an Alistar headbutt, and then kind of like last breath had already knocked him up, but then pulled him back down in the original position. So it was a bit of a strange one there.
Well, that's interesting. We might just want to look at that at the well, when the VOD comes online or after this game. But for now, the TheFOXSound picking up as much resources as they can, and they might just be looking for a push in that middle lane. Right after that, Lapras has started to clear out those minions as well, and Chrisland is actually going for a little bit of some sort of blue build, as he has finished the Iceborne Gauntlet, but he has picked himself up the Blade of the Rune King as well, so not your traditional blue build quite yet. And well, there I have it once again. Sirius and Beansu facing off here in finishing off wards, so a little bit more passive than you would normally see. Dragon is coming up in another 30 seconds. That could be very messy.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they won't just let that go at this point, because Reason Gaming are having a lot of trouble in these fights, and in a Dragon Pit area fight, they're gonna have a huge amount of trouble preventing A, Yasuo getting on the backline, and B, preventing Yasuo from putting down a really good wind wall, because it's a narrow area. It's easy for him to cut off Ezreal from being able to do anything in those fights, let alone actually Elise and Gragas. So they are actually just going to let it go, and they're not going to try and fight for that.
We have Sirius and Crazy Caps just pressuring that middle lane, while the rest of their team are taking Dragon going over towards the TheFOXSound, as you said, and they are going to be happy with that, extending their gold lead to around 7,000 gold. Very nice amount of gold right there, and the TheFOXSound right now pressuring that bottom lane. This could be very dangerous. Zikion and Chon's looking for that pincer movement. This is very bad. Sankix gets knocked up. He gets knocked up twice by the last breath. He gets knocked up for the third time by that assault and battery, and he gets blown up. Shutdown coming in on towards Chrisland. Double kill coming in for that Senkux. In the meantime, Zikion right now desperately trying to defend his AD carry, as he does manage to do so. Barney D dives in as well. Crazy Caps picks up that kill. That is a double kill for him, looking for the triple layer on towards Thrashy, and he is probably going to get that, or is he? Because he gets stunned up under the turrets. The Fangs sink in, and Thrashy turns it around beautifully. Double kill for him. It is an ace, but just barely for Reason Gaming.
I am not ashamed to admit I have no idea what happened in that fight. That was an absolute cluster F-bomb. That was a massive amount of just ultimate AoE damage CC in a really small area, which made it almost impossible to see what actually happened until the kind of chase section at the end, which was very smart usage actually of both Elise's ability to chase down with Repel and Leona's comparatively high damage for a support, helping out with that little bit of extra damage against the squishy target of Crazy Caps and the very low health target that was killed before that. So again, this fight has actually not gone the way of the TheFOXSound, and you have to wonder, are they being just a little bit too aggressive right now?
Well, I would certainly say so, as Crazy Caps might not have wanted to go in there after Thrashy. That was maybe something minor, but in the end that did cost him his life. Right now, Baron rather has come up once again, so that could be a very, very messy fight erupting there in the end if either of these teams decide to go for that. For now, I don't think any of them actually want to go for that. Sirius gets caught by the Zenith Blade. That could be very dangerous. Cocoon comes down as well. He is a little bit too tanky, as we do see those barrels coming out, but he just shrugs it off and walks away. Zikion looking for this kill, maybe on towards Beans, who is a little bit too deep. He gets stunned up, and he walks away using that ultimate, so he has burned that one. Lapras is maybe a little bit too deep for himself. Senkox goes in, he gets knocked back by Zikion. Zikion right now is surely going to be going down here. Lapras gets knocked up by the Solar Flare, and he is in a little bit of trouble for himself. Assault and Battery comes down onto Senkox. He gets knocked up for the second time. Uses that explosive cast on himself, but Sean will be finishing him off in the meantime. Sirius will be finishing off someone at least, and Chrisland will be finishing off Sean's. That is going to be a Baron for Reason Gaming.
And how quickly can the mighty fall? The TheFOXSound were so far ahead for most of this game. They've been winning all these fights. They've been looking so strong, and honestly, most of the fights that they lost looked like they were just arrogance on their part. But now, suddenly, they've fallen behind. They lost that fight basically because Crazy Caps was zoned out for the entirety of it. It was a very messy fight, and they were not able to get their Yasuo on the backline. They were not able to get any real burst damage to take down Senkox and to take down Chrisland. So now the Baron buff sits upon the other shoulders, and that is a big windfall for Recent Gaming. Can they actually do anything with it, though, is the question. If we get into a more organized fight like we've been seeing, well, honestly, about 4 fights ago, right before the problems started for the TheFOXSound, I think we might actually start to see them get a little bit more organized again. And certainly now they're going to be aware that they are in danger of throwing this game in a way that they will not be pleased about. Sirius doesn't get caught, has got a Banshee's Veil anyway, so no worries there.
Yeah, they might want to be looking to pop that Banshee's Veil shortly here. Sean's might be in trouble for himself. Zenith Blade lands on towards Sirius. That doesn't get negated by the Banshee's Veil. Barney D and Beansu might be in trouble, but Zikion is taking so much damage for himself. Kusha Barrage comes across. That is not going to be finishing him off. Lapras and the rest of his team still in a defensive position here. Recent Gaming with the Baron buff will be regenning that lost health. Chrisland gets knocked up by the Tornado. No last breath for now, as that will not probably be worth it, as Lapras might just be bursted down as a result. Turret going down. Recent Gaming looking for the inhibitor turret.
Yes, but they need to be careful that they don't overcommit here. Right now, although they have got Baron regen, their 2 tanks are on about half health, and the whole of the TheFOXSound are actually in the area. They could go for the engage.
Assault and Battery comes down and Senkox. He gets knocked up 3 times. Once again, he gets bursted down almost instantly. Sean's being forced out of the fight. Crazy Caps is so deep. Ignite is sticking. He's not going to be able to survive that one. But the TheFOXSound looking to finish off Beansu. That is a double kill rather. And he is looking to chase down Trashy here. That is almost an ace. 4 for 1. And the TheFOXSound, well, they are probably going to take an inhibitor off of that.
At least an inhibitor. The fact that Trashy is alive will probably save their Nexus turrets. Sirius wouldn't be particularly keen on tanking it, although if they were able to get Lapras on him, he would die almost instantly. That is something that is very notable about Yasuo. He can do relatively poorly in his laning phase and still just absolutely spew out damage in the late game, because he just has incredible synergy with those crit items. So they're going to be able to take that away, and they have to be careful here.
That Trashy doesn't go down quite yet. He is a little too tanky, and the inhibitor does fall. But here is the rest of that team. Here comes Senkox onto Sean. Sean's being forced out of there using that Volt Baker. Very good. Solar Flare coming down on Lapras. He gets bursted. He has got that Guardian Angel, but is it going to be enough? In goes Sirius. Assault and Battery comes down onto Senkox. He goes down. Right now, 3-man knock-up out of that TheFOXSound team. No kills on the TheFOXSound, and Reason Gaming don't manage to get anything out of that, and the TheFOXSound pulls away, get themselves a dragon.
They get the inhib, they get the dragon, they get the kill on Senkox, which now means they can back off, look to take time out, get their items up again, and buy some elixirs quite possibly, and then push out for that final look towards the other inhibitors. And as a result, it feels like Reason Gaming are once again very much on the back foot. Even though Trashy is still wearing the Baron buff, it's going to wear off pretty shortly. And unless they can get another really, really good fight where they can focus down either Crazy Caps or Lat Press in the early stages of the fight before they can really contribute, or at least get a fight where they can zone out Crazy Caps, they're just going to not be able to contend because there is so much damage from those two.
Alright, so Yasuo, Lapras has picked himself up the Last Whisper, so he is going to shred through that Reason Gaming armor. And, well, they are, of course, not going to like that one at all. Senkox might be in trouble here. Lapras and Sirius in pursuit. Blureth comes in. Senkox is surely going to be going down here. Lapras is on a killing spree. And that is a very, very bad for Reason Gaming, to say the least.
Yeah, again, Senkox being the one out of position. He has been caught several times now. That fight at the middle inhibitor of the TheFOXSound was started because Vi got onto Senkox. Several of the fights that they've won have actually been the ones where Senkox was able to keep himself positioned in such a way that he was not focused down almost immediately. So without that character in their arsenal, it just doesn't feel like Reason Gaming can defend very easily. However, they do have blue build Ezreal, which is actually a very, very valuable thing in a defensive scenario, but it might not be enough.
Lapras goes in on towards Binsu. Is that going to be enough? Solar Flare comes down on Lapras. He is taking so much damage from himself. Going very, very deep. Chrisland gets followed by 3 members of that TheFOXSound team right now. Sean's in all kinds of trouble himself as he takes too much damage for his liking, but Barney D goes down in the process. They will be looking for that turret, I believe, or they might just be looking for these Nexus turret, but Reason Gaming haven't given up quite yet. Here is Senkox. Senkox doesn't quite manage to get the kill on Crazy Caps, and he goes down himself as a result. Binsu right now being forced out as well. Shut down coming in on towards Zirius, but is that going to be enough? 2-man knock-up out of Sean's, looking for this kill on towards Trashy. Trashy on the spawn pad. Oh, doesn't die quite yet. GG's coming out. Second game going over to the TheFOXSound as well, and they are going to be in the finals.
They will be in the finals, as you say, after an honestly a remarkably bloodthirsty game. I mean, we had, what's the total there? I can't count on stream, it's been noted, but somewhere in the region of 60 kills in a 37-minute game. So, yeah, there was a lot of bloodshed, I think we can say that, but